Today I am wearing the Rolex Day Date in 40mm yellow gold with a champagne dial, but today I want to show you a watch that is my new $1,500 favorite. I think everything about this watch is superb, and it hits almost every single box for me personally. It is the Nivada Grenchen F77 MKII with a Lapis Lazuli dial. Now, in this video, I'm going to tell you what this watch does really well, where it may fall short, and why it hits almost every single box for me personally. There's a nice finished stainless steel case and bracelet, a little bit nicer than you would expect for the price, and that's evident with the angular lugs, where you can see a clean delineation line between the brushed portions, the polished edges. I love the beveled bi-finished bezel with the sunken hexagonal screw heads. I think this watch really grabs a lot of light. It reflects a lot of light, especially when you're outside as opposed to being indoors under artificial lights. So it really grabs the eye. There's a good bracelet here with screw pin connected links and a very adjustable sport style clasp. Sadly, no, it's not a quick adjustment system, but there are multiple micro adjustment positions here, so you can dial in the proper fit. There's a thread down crown with 100 meters of water resistance, so if you were to use this day in and day out, you wouldn't have to worry about getting this wet or even washing it under the tap, even going swimming with it occasionally. Now, this has an excellent dial, a lapis lazuli dial, with very sharp beveled applied markers that raise off of that dial plane. They do reflect a lot of light. There's an applied logo, and all of this is visible under a sapphire crystal with effective layering of ARC or anti-reflective coatings. It doesn't eliminate all reflections, but it does enhance the at-a-glance legibility, and it enhances the clarity so you can see this beautiful dial and the sharp details to a better degree. Inside the case is a Swiss-made sop rod movement. It's called the P024. It's a no-date variation of an ETA 2824. It's essentially a 2824 clone with 25 joules, a 4 hertz beat frequency, and 38 hours of power reserve, which admittedly is not the best. But there is nice finishing here when it comes to this customized rotor, the blued screws. You can't view it behind a closed case back, but the positive thing about this is there are parts readily available, and any watchmaker is going to be able to service or repair this for years to come. Now, the overall design is an homage to the original that debuted back in 1977, and that's where this gets its name, the F77. Obviously, there are some overt Gerald Genta design vibes or DNA. Some of you might not like that. Others of you, like me, we love the retro angular styling, the way this grabs light, how it sits powerfully on the wrist. I think this is a very enjoyable watch to wear, but the best part about it is this semi-polished natural stone dial, this lapis lazuli dial. Now, here it is next to a chunk of lapis that I own. Here in the Williams family, we love cool colored rocks and crystals and minerals and fossils and geodes and all of that stuff. We have a small but growing collection, so again, a watch like this is just right up my alley. If you're not interested in a polished stone dial, there are other options on the website for you, and I've linked them below. But lapis is a very intense blue colored metamorphic rock, and it's been valued by humans for thousands of years. It's made mostly of lazurite, that's where the blue comes from. There are calcite or light veins running throughout. There are flecks of pyrite, which is fool's gold, and you can see those little flecks as you move the watch around. It almost looks like stars set in like a dusk sky. It's actually quite beautiful. Now, here's the watch next to a big chunk of pyrite, which really brings out that gold tone. I think that's really fun. Lapis lazuli is predominantly found in Afghanistan. That's where the world's largest deposits are, and that's where the ancient world went to source lapis lazuli. Lapis historically was used for beading, for inlay, for rings. It was even used in statues. Here's a picture of King Tutankhamun's funeral mask, which has lapis lazuli in it. It was also at times finely ground into powder to provide coloring or pigmentation. That was used in Queen Cleopatra's expensive royal makeup, so it has quite an interesting history when it comes to use by humans. When it comes to watches, though, occasionally brands will use lapis lazuli, mostly in very limited runs, mostly in luxury priced watches from Zenith, from Piaget, from Rolex, from Omega, though also found in brands like Frederique Constant, Zodiac, or Heinrich. It's very uncommon to see, though. I've only ever filmed one lapis lazuli dial in the past, and that was a solid gold Seamaster 300 from Omega. And in complete transparency, the grade of the stone here on this Nivada Grenchen is better than what I found on the Omega Seamaster. Now, there are different grades to lapis lazuli. When you're looking for jewelry grade lapis, you're looking for an even coloring. You're looking for less calcite veining, or at least pleasant marbling if it has a lot of calcite in the deposit. Some chunks have larger pyrite chunks. This Nivada Grenchen's grade of stone is fantastic. It has a deep blue uniform color, small stardust flecks of fool's gold, and minimal calcite veining. There's a semi-polished finish. I think this just looks beautiful. And I think it's shocking that you can get a watch dial like this in a watch that only cost $1,500. I mean, when you're looking for that price, it's hard to find a really solid Swiss-made watch for that value, let alone one that has a lapis lazuli dial. So when I look objectively at this F77, it does hit all of those boxes: the movement, the finishing, the detail work, the bracelet, the clasp, the retro history, and the stone dial. This has easily become my new favorite entry-level luxury watch, and I don't think anything else comes close. Now, there is one thing that keeps me back from this watch, and that's the 38mm size. I know most of you watching will prefer the 38mm size. It's faithful to that original from 1977. But to me, with my big dad bod, my larger frame, it just feels a little bit small. Fortunately though, Nivada Grenchen is coming out with stone dials later this year in the upscaled 41mm size. And as soon as those become available, I'm getting one. I might get more than one depending on what stone dials are released. And I will be wearing the heck out of it. This press sample already dominated my wrist time this past week, and that was with a watch size that I don't really prefer personally. Now, all of that said, there are some solid consumer options here, especially if you like this Mark II case in 38mm. You can get a meteorite dial, an aventurine stone dial. You could get an aventurine glass dial. It also comes in traditional textured blue, gray, and white. It's available on a fitted canvas strap or a fitted rubber strap, and that's something that a lot of watch collectors really want when it comes to an integrated bracelet design. They want some other options, and fortunately, there are some other options here with this F77. Now, depending on the configuration, you can buy one for $1,160, and they go up in price up to $1,560. This lapis lazuli on the bracelet is that $1,560 value. So stay tuned for more dial options in 41mm later this year. Stay tuned for an open heart version of the F77. Let me know what you think of this watch personally. Sound off in the comment section. If you're an owner, please share your personal wearing experience. I appreciate you watching today, and I hope to see you again soon.